سمع الله لمن حمده.
Hello, Muslim friends of the world. There were a record-breaking 7 Muslim-majority countries taking part in the 2018 World Cup in Russia, meaning millions of Muslim football fans have flooded into the huge Eurasian nation, turning it into one of the most Muslim World Cups yet. But this is not the first time Russia has experienced a wave of Muslim arrivals. In fact, the country has an Islamic history dating back nearly 1,400 years, as these great Russian Muslim facts reveal. The following are surprising facts about Islam and Russia that you should know, quoted from islam.ru. The first is the 7th century origins of Russian Islam. The second largest religion in Russia, Islam first arrived in the country around the mid-7th century, when Muslims appeared in the Caucasus region as part of the Persian conquest. This was only a few decades after the Prophet Muhammad announced his faith to the world. And the second one, Muslim population of Russia. The first local conversions to Islam are believed to have begun about a century after Muslims arrived on the territory of modern Russia, forming what would become Dagestan. Today, Russia's Muslim population numbers around 21 million. That's the same number as the number of Russian Muslims in Sweden, Denmark, and Norway combined. And the third is Russian Muslim empires. At various points in its history, parts of modern Russia were ruled by various Muslim kingdoms. Some of the most famous include the Golden Khanate, Safavid, Afsharid, Qajar, and Ottoman, all of whom helped increase the influence of Islam in Russia and the nation's cultural landscape. And next is Russian Muslim capital. The most famous Russian Islamic capital in history was Sarai, in the center of the Golden Horde during its peak between the 13th and 14th centuries. Sarai was described by the Muslim traveler Ibn Battuta as one of the most beautiful cities he ever visited. It is located in modern Astrakhan Oblast and has not been fully excavated. Most people consider Kazan to be the Muslim capital of modern Russia, as it is home to the iconic Kolsarif Mosque and the Russian Islamic University, and hosts some of Russia's major Muslim cultural events, including the Muslim Film Festival and the annual Quran Reader Contest. The next fact is, ethnic Muslims in Russia are descendants of the Prophet. There are several ethnic Muslims in Russia, and one of them claims to be a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. Certain families among the Dagestani people trace their lineage back to the earliest Muslims who came to spread Islam in the 7th century, some of whom were the families of the Prophet. Among these prosecutors is the Dagestani Muslim leader, Mufti Ahmed Haji Abdullayev. Repression and awakening. Unfortunately, Muslims in Russia have experienced several painful periods of repression. The most prominent was between the 16th and 18th centuries, when many were forcibly exiled, and there was another more recently under communism. However, since the collapse of communism, there has been an Islamic revival across Russia, which has seen the number of mosques in the country increase from around 160 to nearly 7,000 between 1990 and 1997. These mosques stand alongside nearly 5,000 Muslim organizations and a number of mosques. The Russian Muftiate oversees them all. Russian Muslim Republic. Russia is a federation in which there are 22 republics, and 7 of them have a Muslim majority. The republics of Bashkortostan, Tatarstan, Dagestan, and Chechnya are the 4 largest, with a combined population of around 10.5 million. These republics were granted a great deal of autonomy and had their own capitals and state languages, usually Turkish or Caucasian. Next fact: Russian mosque. The most historic mosque in the country is the Juma Mosque in Derbent, Dagestan, built in 734 under the Umayyad dynasty. The largest is Moscow's Cathedral Mosque, with a capacity of 10,000, which is also competing to be the most beautiful mosque in Russia alongside Kazan's Kolsrif Mosque, the Bulgar Taj Mahal Mosque, and St. Petersburg's Mosque, which is modeled after Tamerlane's beautiful tomb in Samarkand. Russian Muslim food. Thanks to its Islamic presence, as expected, Russian food has a strong Muslim influence. Dishes such as cheburek, a pastry filled with spiced minced meat and onions, a relative of the samosa, and chak-chak, a dessert of fried wheat cakes soaked in honey, have been popularized by Muslim Tatars. Other less widely eaten but interesting Muslim foods include sokta, a Dagestani favorite, a concoction of chopped and boiled goat's liver mixed with dried apricots and onions stuffed into sheep's intestines, basically, a kind of halal sausage. And the last fact is, famous Russian Muslims. These include Alisher Usmanov, business magnate, billionaire, and part owner of Arsenal FC, Alexander Litvinenko, former spy and whistleblower who died of poisoning in London, Kuzian Baysangyurov, holder of the WBA Continental and IBF International boxing titles, Hadijat Gadayeva, the angel who saved orphans during the Chechen War, and Abdurrashid Ibrahim, the Muslim traveler and scholar who became the first imam of Tokyo's Kamiai Mosque. Also, there is the name of Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC lightweight world champion, holder of the longest undefeated record in MMA, with 29 wins, and remains undefeated in professional MMA.